gentlemen, welcome back to Non-Professional Dating Advice. I am your one and only true dating coach. My name is Kyle Brenchley, the host of this show, and I am joined by a very special guest today, Tylen Nelson. Would you like to introduce yourself, Tylen?
Yes, I would, Kyle. Like he said, the name is Tylen Nelson. I did bring my own version of the resume Kyle shared last time, so I don't know, maybe just digging that right now. That's a great way of introducing myself.
That's a perfect way. If you guys haven't listened to episode 1, I kind of just introduced the show here, what we're doing. I am a professional dater of women. as I say, I am as good as they get, is what I'm trying to say. And I actually shared the story where there's this girl on this dating app that said, like, send your resumes or, like, send, like, your applications. Kind of, just trying to be funny. Like, people do that. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to do this because it was summer and I had nothing better to do. So I did, and I typed it up and I shared it in the last episode. So go listen to that to get the full deets. But Tylen, looks like you went out and did one yourself. So share that with us.
I did, yeah. So I listened to Kyle's first episode, and then I'm like, he mentioned the resume, and I'm like, that is funny. This is right up my alley. I do stuff like this all the time. Part of my personality, I guess you could say. So yeah, let's just hop right into it. It's the best way for me to really introduce myself, because I am a single man, so dating is a big part of my life. So if you want to get to know me, this is a great way to do it. Really quick, I was born and raised in a small town in central Utah called Salina, Utah. But contrary to popular belief, if you were to meet me, you would not think I was a hick, even though a lot of people think, oh, wear your cowboy boots, That was one of my favorite stories about Snow College. It's just like showing up to the ward, telling people where I'm from, and they're like taken aback, like, what? Wear your cowboy boots, But,
they're like, what is this city slicker doing living in Salina, Utah?
Yep. Nope, born and raised. And then, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So I went on a 2-year mission after that, after graduating high school, and then I just went to college. Snow College, that's where I met Kyle.
Heck yeah.
And then now we're up here at USU, so that's pretty cool.
We follow each other. We just can't get enough of each other, I guess.
Right. All right, so I'm gonna hop in right into the resume. Read my little statement. A little statement at the top. It says, single man with more than 5 years of experience in breadth of dating, non-consecutive, because of the mission. You can't do it on the mission, right? Well,
you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. That's a good point.
Yeah.
With more than 5 years of experience in breadth dating. Emphasis on breadth dating because I've never had a girlfriend. So I only have breadth experience is what I have to call it. But
well, let me tell you something, Tylen. After listening to this podcast and applying my advice, you will have a girlfriend.
There we go. And then it says, involved in the understanding of the game. I think Cal said we might dig into that a little later.
Yeah.
If we want.
We might tap into that.
Developing anti-rejection techniques, very important. And perfecting the first date, because that's all I'm really good at.
There you go. Here, tell us a little bit about perfecting the first date. What do you mean by that? Like you have it down to a science, like you got it?
Yeah,
you know every step, like step by step, what you do on a first date to make it perfect.
I guess I could. Well, see, I have to get this out of the way really quick about anything. Any advice I give, you gotta keep in mind, dating advice is principle based. So if you and I have the same principles, we're going to agree on dating advice. But if we don't have the same principles, we're not going to agree on dating advice, right?
Fair.
Because it all depends on your goals when it comes to dating. If your goal is to sleep with women, I am a terrible advice giver. If your goal is to get married and have a successful marriage and raise children, I am a great advice giver.
There you go.
So we got to keep that in mind, okay? But I don't know. Like, Tylen's perfecting the first date. It's kind of hard to, like, when we say success in dating, we also have to understand what that is to us, right? Like I said, if you want to, like, sleep with women, obviously success would be how many women have you slept with. If your definition of success on a date is a kiss, then it's how many people have you kissed, And I don't know. Perfecting the first date to me is understanding what is, like, because, like, dating's like it's two people's agency at work, right? So it's like, you can only do so much until you become overbearing or creepy,
That's true.
And then they have to give it over to the girl, though. The ball's in her park now. So for me, perfecting the first date means do I feel comfortable and confident being here, you know? So that's really what it means when I say perfecting the first date. But I am going to say I believe the perfect first date involves lots of talking because she's a stranger. You don't get to know her, you know. But I really love just like a classic food date. You just like go get a treat. You can go out to dinner. You know, I always do that. That's a great because that way you get your you know, you both get to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Check something off the to-do list. Y'all got to eat, right? You know, you get to talk with a cute gal. And then, you know, maybe go for a walk somewhere. Park's good.
Burn off those calories.
Yeah, burn off the calories you just consumed, you know. I mean, if things are going really well, then, you know, take her to a little more, a nicer spot. Perfecting the first date.
Perfecting the first date, okay. So you meet all the basic needs. You meet, you know, humans, we need to eat, right? All humans, you know, whether you're extroverted or introverted, need some kind of human interaction. So an opportunity to talk and connect with somebody. And then we all need to exercise. So there you go. Yeah. I'm totally with you. Most of my first dates include either like grabbing something to eat or like an activity where you can talk, you know. So
I'm just gonna emphasize the whole point of first date is to get to know the person.
Yeah.
So like I've gone on like, you know, I've taken a girl like out for tennis.
Yeah.
Tennis is not a great first date. It's a great date. It's not a great first date because there's not a lot of talking going on.
That's true because, I mean, you're standing, like, so far apart, and I've done this before where I've done, like, pickleball dates, and, like, you're trying to talk to them, but they're like, they can't hear you, so they're like, what? And so you have to, like, come up to the net and talk, and then it pauses the game. I mean, which is fine, but there's just better circumstances to be in, and I mean, I like keeping my first date simple because...
Simple is another thing.
Yeah.
Don't, like, overinvest.
Yeah,
there's no reason.
Like if you don't like the girl, you don't vibe, then there's you know
if you bought her flowers and you'd like, you know, paid like $8 to go bowling and then she's not even interested in you, it's like, well, crud, that's a waste of money.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I just say that, you know, however much you invest in the date ought to match the investment you have in this girl, right?
Yes, exactly.
You know, that's why you take your wife skydiving and not your first date, right?
Yes. Back into your resume. Tell us a little bit about your dating experience. It looks like you got a similar outline as I had with dating experience. You know, kind of like job experience. You put like your job and how long you were there. With dating, it looks like you got quite the experience there. Please share.
Yep. Well, we got it from most recent to like oldest. But I'm gonna go reverse order. We're gonna start from oldest dating to newest dating. I've dated in 3 cities, I guess you could say.
Wow, 3 cities.
3 areas of my life. Obviously, when I was in high school, Salina, Utah, went on lots of dates. Dating was a lot different back then for me.
Please share.
I wasn't trying to get romantically invested into any of my relationships because I had this mission looming over my head. So, you have to say goodbye at some point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and when you're 16, that was honestly the last thing on my mind. I just wanted to get out there and meet cute girls, Same when I was 17. 18, I was starting to think like maybe I wanted to get a little romantic, but then I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna have to break up, So, I mean, I just have a couple names. These are all the girls I went on dates with. Not a lot of different girls when I was in Salina. A bunch of the same girls. They were kind of just my friends.
Well, I mean, Salina. How many people live in Salina?
Fair point. About 2,500 people.
2,500 people. So yeah, about how many of them would be your age?
Well, it's like
maybe about a third of them.
Yeah. Well, 400 in the high school. If we go 50-50, you got 200 girls to choose from. That's all grades. All grades.
So more like maybe 1/8 or I don't know.
So maybe like in my class, if you want to date my class, there's like 40 girls to choose from.
Yeah. So a small pool. So naturally you would, double dip and.
Double dip.
Go back for seconds, but yeah.
You had to be careful. You can't just be like, well, she's never gonna see me again. Oh, she will see you.
Well, every day. The thing about those small towns too, like if you
and stuff circulates really quickly.
Yeah. If you do a girl dirty or if something like goes south or sour, like the whole town's gonna know about it. Like you aren't getting off easy on that.
Yeah. So you gotta be very careful with small town dating. Maybe we'll do an episode on small town dating. Who knows?
We
man?
should. Yeah.
Who knows?
That's like specializing in like dating advice is like going into like small town dating. Like I feel like that's a specialty field.
Yeah, it's a very specialty field.
We need to bring in like some experts who have like lived in small towns their entire life.
Dated. And then my next area, you could say, was Ephraim, Utah.
Good old Ephraim.
Good old Ephraim.
Can we talk about Ephraim, Utah for a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Can we talk about the dating scene at Snow College?
Oh, gosh.
Exactly. So for those of you who are not from Utah, Ephraim's kind of a small town like Salina. I think it's a little bigger than Salina.
If it is barely.
Population-wise, I think it is at least.
In the school time, when the semester starts, it triples in population.
With the students, it definitely does. Anyway, so there's a college there. It's just a junior college, 2-year school, really small. A lot of people don't know about it. Even in Utah, they're like, Snow College, who cares? Anyways, a lot of the school's mostly made up of 18 and 19-year-olds. It's a very young school. Yeah. In the case of Tylen and I, we were there when we were a little older because we go on those missions. And so we were 20, 21, But all the girls are 18, 19. So they're fresh out of high school. They don't know crap about the world.
Yeah, and then you're somebody like me who's gone to a foreign country, seen a couple things.
And Tylen knows everything about the world. So it's very interesting because the expectations that they have, and this is not the case for everyone, but for the most part, the expectations they have are very not serious. They just don't take any aspect of dating serious, and so it's hard for you to really find somebody.
They're definitely still in the high school dating.
Yeah. That's a little preface to Ephraim, Utah Snow College dating.
Yeah, and if you did start to get serious with anybody, you had the chance of them going on a mission was very likely.
That's true because for girls they go when they're 19, guys go 18, girls go 19. And so a lot of them would do their 2 years at Snow College and then be like, yeah, I'm going on a mission. And so you'd be like, all right, well, I just dated you for the last 6 months for nothing.
Nothing?
Obviously it's not for nothing, but it's you kind of get tired after a while dating girls who are just going to leave. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, naturally the next step after us is, like I said, my principles is marriage, right? So that's naturally the next step after you get home from missions. I'm dating to find somebody to wife up, Yeah, I've had a lot more success up here in Logan. Well, success.
Success is a relative word. You got 9, and from our conversation earlier before we started airing this, there's at least 2 more ladies who aren't on this list.
There's 2 new developments since I made this, so keep that in mind.
And there could be more.
There's definitely going to be more. Absolutely.
Well, very nice. It looks like you have a lot of dating experience. I just think it's really interesting to look at people's dating experience.
And they can change. Your principles can change.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I've definitely changed over the years. I used to be a lot more serious about my dating as well. Leaning on the more side of eligible. But now at this point, you realize it's all about networking. You're like, well, if she's not into me, her friend that I met last week might be. So just throwing that out there.
Maybe we can, in a later episode, we can talk about the green lights and the red lights of going after former dates' friends. Because I have a few instances where we can talk about that. And I think that's a good topic for later.
Switching from the one roommate to the other roommate.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Oof. Yeah, what do we do there?
What do we do?
Find out in a future episode. All right. What else do you think's important to share?
Yeah, let's go to the skills. The skills is a good one. This is a lot about my personality as well too. So, skill number 1, I'm great at moving on. You don't have to worry about me getting attached until after the second day, for reals. Just don't know out there. Humor. My kind of humor, I call it situational humor. If you come up to me and say, tell me a joke, I got nothing for you. But if we get talking for a little bit, I'll quippy. Let's put it that way.
Quippy.
That kind of humor.
I have a question though. How many people come up to you on a daily basis and say, hey, tell me a joke?
More than you would think,
More than you think, okay.
I guess. Or, you tell people you're funny, and then they ask you.
Oh, there we go.
Then they say, well, tell me a joke. And it's like, well, I can tell you a lame dad joke.
Yeah, I'm like, joke. Where's the Laffy Taffy rapper? I'll just share one of those,
Yeah, a lot of the humor is in, my just, expression and situation. I like to call it situational, It's only, when a girl stumbles on her words, that's a great opportunity to, have some humor.
Yeah, tease her a little bit.
Tease her a little bit. That's my favorite kind of humor. I put spreadsheets on here.
Spreadsheets?
Yeah.
You're trying to pick up chicks with spreadsheets?
No.
Please share. Please share.
I made this with my friends and my family, and they're all just like, you're very organized. You have these spreadsheets to keep your stuff organized, which is very true. which is very true. I'm a very organized, systematic kind of person.
I have a question. Do you have a spreadsheet of all the girls you've dated and you've like put them into different categories?
Not that advanced. However, when I had to do my dating experience, I did go through like I did make a list of all the girls. I was just brainstorming like, oh, who have I gone on dates with? Had to go back in the phone numbers and that kind of stuff. That was a fun experience.
Yeah,
actually,
no, I bet. Good nostalgia, trip down memory lane.
Thinking, oh, what went wrong?
Maybe there was a few tears shed and a few phone calls made.
Yeah, something like that. I've got tact on here. If you're unaware what tact is, it's just kind of like diffusing situations and stuff like
Tactical.
that. Yeah, you want to, as a person, you want to like tell people how you feel. You want to stand up for what's right, but you want to do it in a respectful manner.
Yeah.
If you're gonna call somebody out, call them out in private. Rather than in public. People like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Tact.
You heard it first. Tact.
Tact. My favorite word. I put planning. That's kind of redundant of what we already talked about. Attention to detail. My first major when I was in college, I was an art major. Put on here fashion. That is new to me, relatively to my age. Like, if you were to look at my pictures when I was in high school, you'd be like, yeah, right.
But you'd be like, your fashion is...
But I went to Europe, ladies and gentlemen, and now...
Any man that goes to Europe
me.
And comes back a changed man, like, he's dressing well.
Yes.
You just know.
Yes. Now it's a hobby. Now it's, I could tell you all sorts of stuff. So you don't need to dig too far into that.
Maybe that's even another topic we can talk about is
presentation.
How presentation fits into dating and how it works with attraction and different things like that.
I mean, look at what your host is wearing.
I mean, as a professional, do you think I'm going to show up in baggy sweatpants and a t-shirt?
That's right. Actually, when Kyle set up this interview, he said, bring something, what did you say, that shows off your personality?
Yes, I said, wear something, like, wear your favorite outfit, something that shows off your personality.
That's exactly what I wore. I wore, like, one of my favorite things to wear. So, there you go. I put on my best watch and that kind of stuff. All right, art, I already covered that. Design, same boat. Videography, that's more of a joke. I do have my own little mini-series on Instagram.
He does. It's very good. Go check it out. It's called Projects.
It's called Projects. You can just go follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
I just get more followers that way. So.
What you should do, but
he wants me to turn it into a YouTube channel, which I agree.
You should,
agree.
Any content creator knows that the more platforms their content is on, the more reach they'll get.
The more reach you'll get.
Because how many people follow you on Instagram? Maybe like 300, 400?
Yeah, around there.
YouTube, how many people use YouTube a day? Probably millions.
Millions.
Maybe even
billions.
Billions? That might be a stretch.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyways, but
lot.
Still, like, because I have a YouTube channel, and while it hasn't reached, like, the world by any means,
right.
Still, there was a video I made, I think was it 600 views or something? 700? I think it was 700 views or something, and that's just, like just random people, Just 700 views, that's nothing. Come on, that's compared to nothing. Taylor Swift has a video of, like, 35 billion views or something like that.
Yeah, but for us, like, low folk.
But yeah, like the common folk, 700 views still. So
it's like more people than you like I said, that's more people you have than you have on Facebook. You're like, wow.
True. Anyways. He should put it on YouTube, but
I should. But I do enjoy I did take a photography class when I was in all those art classes, so it's something it's not a hobby by any means, but I do enjoy it.
It's fun. It's really fun.
Problem solving, that's why I'm an engineer. We had a little problem, just barely. I helped Kyle solve it.
Yeah, true. We had some technical issues. Not really technical. It was more so with the tripod, but
yeah, so.
You fixed it.
Tools, well, that's because of my work and my upbringing. So, I mean, just growing up, my dad had like a little wood shop, and he's always really good at tools. Just like he works on cars, builds like furniture, does all the little fix things around the house, and I just kind of grew up with that. And now my job, I'm a renovator for the university. So any classroom that they want new carpet, they want new whatever, I go in and help make it happen. So,
he's your guy.
I am your guy.
Now, I know ladies, they don't like tools, like guys who act like tools, but they do like handymen.
They do like handymen, and that is exactly what I am.
They like guys who know how to use tools, but who aren't tools themselves.
That's right.
So.
That's right. That's why I didn't put tool, I put tools.
Plural.
Intelligence, I do just like, I'm in school, so, and I do like just doing little side projects, just learning about random things, so we gotta put that on there. Discipline. Yeah, we're working on that. I don't want to put that on there. I would say determination is a better word to describe me. Like, I don't like do things perfect, but I'm always trying to make it.
Discipline, determination, same thing,
Yeah.
right? I've heard it both ways.
Both ways, right? Showmanship. I might put that on there. Like,
who doesn't like a little show? I mean, come on.
If you were to follow me around, you'll notice I just do like things that don't need to be done, but I do.
Things.
Like when I open a door, you know, I'll like fling it open rather than just open it, you know, or like when I go to like throw away something, rather than like putting it in the trash, I'll try and like give it a little flick, you know, just like always trying to look so like smooth, you know. I also was an actor growing up. I did plays all through middle school and high school, so that's where it comes from. Respect. I love to respect people, and I love to be respect.
I mean, who doesn't?
Right.
Who doesn't?
Right. Well, some people don't like to respect.
That's true.
But they want to be respected.
Yeah, the irony.
The irony of it. Temple worthy. Well.
Oof. Cherry on top, ladies and gentlemen.
Gotta put that out there for my ladies.
On top.
I know where my principles and my goals are at. Had to put that down. Okay.
Wow. Okay, so you are a very skillful man.
Yes.
And obviously these skills have helped you with your dating experience.
Here, I'll explain one to you. This is a good one. Pretty proud of it. It's pretty smooth. Okay. So, I am the setting, the institute. Have you talked about what that is?
I actually did explain the institute last episode, oddly enough.
So maybe we'll just say we won't explain it, and we'll just convince you to go watch the last episode.
Yeah, if you really want to know what the institute is, go listen to episode 1. Anyways,
I'm at the institute, waiting for my class to start. I'm just doing some studying at a table similar to this, okay, maybe a little bigger. And there's like 4 chairs at this table. I'm just studying, got my headphones in, you know, going to town. And then next thing you know, somebody sits down in front of me. It's not just somebody, it's a cute gal. And, you know, I'm just like, oh, dang it. This is kind of, you know, this is frustrating because we're in a quiet environment. Everybody else around me is studying. You know, and what I want more than anything is to just talk to her. You know, that's all I want. If we get a number, we get a number. But I just want to talk because that's where it starts, right? But, you know, it's hard. Because, like I said, quiet environment. She's got her headphones in. I've got mine in. I'd have to really go out of my way, and it might not work out. High risk. Okay, it's a high-risk environment for an interaction. So, I do a low-risk way of approaching. I don't know where it came from. Just inspiration out of my head. I went back to the good old note passing. Only it wasn't a note passing. It was like I just pulled out one of my spare notebooks, and I wrote at the top. I just said, "Hey, Ty, nice to meet you," something like that. And I just like, you know, with my showmanship and my tact, I just slid it across the table to her. And then she and then I just like went back to doing my thing, wrote on it.
You like pretend like you didn't write the note. You're just like, oh.
Yeah, you know, I'm just like
I didn't send that note.
Yeah, you know, I slid it there, and you just like pretend to keep going, even though you're like super nervous.
Yeah, you're like sweating. You're just like,
yep. And then she writes on there, "Hey, my name is blank. You know, just call her Juliet or something like that." That's a good name, right? And then from there, I just like, you know, I explain the situation on the paper. I'm just like, no chance to talk to you, even though I don't want to, you know, I don't want to disrupt the environment, and there's a fair chance I'll never see you again, you know. And then it's like, just, basically, you know, and then I had to, you know, do deliver the line, right? Get your number. Did that. Boom. I got it.
Wow. Who knew writing out? Because, like, I feel like in, like, movies you see, like, the notes, it's like, hi. And it's like, hi. You're cute. You're cute. You know what I mean? Like, it's like 1 or 2 words. Homeboy here.
Got a whole notebook out.
He got a whole notebook out, and he wrote sort of, like, multiple sentences at times, too.
A sentence.
A sentence.
I don't remember the whole thing.
And it worked.
It worked.
Wow, think outside of the box.
Yeah. So I would say just experiment. Just go have fun with that kind of stuff.
Just experiment.
Sometimes it goes well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes well. Sometimes it doesn't. But hey, that's how you learn. Now I've got that one in my back pocket for. It's very specific situations. It's a great. Let's just say you want to go study at the library, but you also want to pick out some chicks. Maybe just go like I don't know. That one's kind of hard, you know, because you don't want to just like sit down and she just be like, "What are you doing?" You know, if they're like at a booth, not a good place. But if they're like at a big table, perfect place.
It's all about analyzing the situation. Yeah, there you go.
Pulling out the right tools for the situation.
Yeah. And you know, this might sound daunting or a little scary to some of the listeners, but don't worry, like, well, as you listen, you'll kind of learn, and like, I'll invite you to do things, and once you apply them, it won't be as scary anymore.
Yeah. Just from a personal experience, like when I was in high school, I was not as confident as I appear or seem. It has definitely just come with time. And like I said, experimentation. Guys, you gotta embrace the ups and downs.
Let's pretend, let's make this a little fun. Let's pretend like you're speed dating, and there's a girl right over here. Her name is Sally. And she wants to know some of your interests. What would you tell her?
Okay. Well, Sally, I am very interested in the outdoors. My favorite activity is camping because you can just like set up a base camp and go do anything you want. That's why I love camping. Let's see, Sally, I'm a very active kind of man. I love to play sports. But unlike Kyle, I'm not really into watching them. I just like to participate in them. But I participate in just about all of them. One sport I'm not very good at is basketball. But my favorites are soccer and baseball, probably. And ultimate frisbee is my favorites. And this is kind of it's a unique interest I have. Whitewater rafting. It's a unique interest. I am certified to guide a raft on a very specific river. That's how certifications work. You have to be certified per river. So if you go to a different river to raft, you have to be certified on that river. Yeah. But that has to do with my past summer job. I worked at a place that did that, and now it's an interest and hobby of mine. And then I love the wording I put on this one: aquatic parkour.
Aquatic parkour. Please tell Sally more.
Isn't that that's an alluring title?
Yeah, Sally's like hardcore.
I mean, I like in the summertime. My favorite thing to do is you just go to the res. You know, you go to a lake, and you just gotta find some cliffs, and then you can just go climb up on those cliffs and just do your back flips, your front flips, your swan dives, your whatever you want to do off of them. It's a great time.
So some people call this cliff jumping.
Cliff jumping.
You call it aquatic
parkour.
I like your name
because
better.
It's not limited to cliffs. Like I've done the same stuff off of docks and boats and
fair.
That kind
fair
of
enough.
stuff.
Yeah,
so I thought it all encompassing, right? And it's a fun word. It's a fun phrase, I guess.
It is.
And then I'm also a creative as well. It can be anything from like a piece of furniture to something like this.
Well, very nice. Yeah.
Key interests of mine.
I think anybody with a head on their shoulders likes somebody that has interests and hobbies. I think one of the biggest turnoffs and red flags, and again, I think maybe we could spend a whole episode, maybe not even a whole episode. We could talking about red flags and talking about, you know, dangers in dating. But one of the biggest red flags for me is when somebody doesn't have any hobbies, or like they don't know,
or like worse yet, when they don't like say what they're interested in with passion.
Yeah.
They get excited about it.
Yeah, like when you're talking to someone who's like, what do you like to do? And they're like, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know?
You don't know.
Like
you get down here with your 9 to 5. You get down with school. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean,
out there. What are you working towards?
I don't know. I just don't like the answer. I don't know. You know what I mean?
It's not a good answer.
So, but anyways, that it's very important. Very important. And you're a very interesting person, Tylen. Your interests are very interesting. Wouldn't you agree, Sally? Yeah, she's nodding her head.
She agrees.
She's interested. And she wants to know what your love languages are. Tell us a little
Sally,
bit about that.
Wow, already.
From what I know about love languages, and as an expert, I know as much as one can know, right? So there's 5 basic love languages, right? You know, the basic ones are quality time, physical touch, acts of service, words of affirmation, and gift giving or receiving gifts. So everybody kind of ranks theirs. You know,
yeah, if you take a test, that's how they do it, right?
Yeah, they just kind of rank to see which ones.
Because like everybody likes receiving gifts.
Yeah.
But it's just like if I had to choose between receiving a gift or doing X or receiving X, then I would, that's where love languages come into play.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've all heard the story where it's like, the wife's love language is quality time. The man's love language is receiving gifts. So he spends all his time at work so he can save up for this nice gift for his wife when all she really wants to do is just spend time with him, And then there's conflict, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where it comes into play.
Yeah,
right?
we want to eliminate conflict. So So in what categories do you express your love the most?
So, I retook the test just to be sure. I kind of already knew this, but I retook it just to be sure, right? And number one is quality time for Tylen. That's what it is. You know, if you ever meet me and you're pondering, are Tylen and I like tight? Are we cool with each other? Just ask yourself, how many hours have I spent with Tylen this week? If the answer is 0, we are not tight. Sorry, because I'm spending time with people who want to be around me. I'm spending time with people I want to be around. That's just how it works, you know. I mean, obviously it's like school, but like, look at the weekends. Like, do I hang out with Ty?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, most people I would say don't just sit around and do nothing with their lives, right? They're out working or school or traveling or whatever it is. And the people that they make time for, like, I think it's pretty obvious how important you are to them. So quality time makes sense.
And then my second love language is physical touch.
Yes, that is. I think that's my second one too.
And that one's my second one. Like I'm already a pretty friendly guy.
Yeah.
You know, I love giving people taps on the shoulder, and I don't know. I do like physical touch. But when it comes to like dating and love and all that kind of stuff, I just think of like the people I'm like most like give the most physical touch to, you know. Like I said, I don't have a girlfriend, you know, but like, you know, it's like my family. Family are the ones that I like hug the most. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like that's my way of like distinguishing like people I'm friends with, girls, talking about girls, between like my dating people, right? The girls I date. The girls that I'm friends with and the girls I date, well, they're kind of the same. They bleed over, right?
Yeah.
Of course. But it's like that's how I show the girls I date that I'm into you.
Yeah, it's like an indication that you're more than a friend, you know. Like
I'm pretty selective about my physical touch. I don't just hold anybody's hand.
Yeah, he's not just, you know, running around, hugging everybody, right?
Well, everybody deserves a hug.
That's right. That's right. Everybody does deserve a hug. Before we move on physical touch, I'm not a psychologist, or I'm not a scientist. I mean, I guess you can say I'm a scientist of love or a psychologist of love. But there's actually studies that have been done.
I've taken a science class before.
Yeah, I got an A in biology, so back off. That show that physical touch, it actually releases some kind of chemical reaction inside your body, absolutely, or something like that, that like goes to your brain and like makes you happier. Again, I'm using very layman terms, you know. I'm sure there's like better explanation, but I think there's a lot of power in physical touch, especially when it comes to somebody who you're intimate with or someone that you have that connection with. And I think people who have a healthy physical touch relationship are generally happier.
I guarantee we'll have an episode of physical touch later. Guarantee. Knowing this guy.
I like physical touch. I mean, who doesn't? But.
I mean, we both have it as number 2. There you go. The third one is acts of service, and that really just like, honestly, I don't know. For me, it's quality time.
Yeah.
Again. But you know, acts of service, like if somebody does something for me, I'm like,
you're like, oh, thanks, man.
You're like, only my friends and family do that, you know. So it's like if you like just serving me, I'm just like, well, I have to return the favor, of course. You know, that builds our bond, and you know, it's very important in any love relationship is acts of service. You know. For me, it's number 3. Number 2, words of affirmation. Gotta love the compliments. Compliments are the best. But you know, a lot of people, I like to see more than, you know, it's like it's not what they say, it's what they do. That's why words of affirmation are a little lower, you know.
I mean, people can say things, but it's what their actions tell you.
Yeah, that's where the quality time and acts of service take precedence.
That's fair.
You know? And I'm the same way, you know. It's like I'd rather show people that I love them than tell them that I love them. You know, my favorite way to tell my friends, I actually don't use the word "I love you" a lot. I usually reserve that for like my family.
Yeah.
My friends, I will just like compliment them.
Yeah.
All the time. I'll just be like, "You are just the best."
You, sir, are just the best.
You're the best, you know. And the last one is receiving gifts. Again, everybody likes receiving gifts, but if that's like the only way you're trying to like, it just feels like you're trying to brag me, you know. If that's your only way of like showing love, you know. It's like you're like, do you want something, you know? But like I said, everybody likes receiving gifts, but mine's just on the bottom. That's not how you show how you love them.
It's different for everybody. I mean, it's quite interesting.
And if your number one is receiving gifts, don't be ashamed.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Absolutely.
Not at all.
Nope. Like Kyle said, we're all different, but that's why love languages are important. You know, because if you just think if like somebody's like, if their main love language is receiving gifts, and they're like, you know, with their like boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, you know, and they hang out a lot, but he's never like bought her flowers, or he's never like taken her out to a nice dinner or anything like that. And she's like, the freak, this guy don't love me. When his love language all along has been quality time.
Yeah.
Again, that's why they're important.
It's very important, and I guess our third invitation for you today is to go find out what your love language is.
Yeah, if you don't know,
go
figure
take
it
this
out.
test. They're all over the internet.
They're free.
They're free. Yeah, just like search love language and just really figure out. I mean, you probably already know, but it doesn't hurt to take the test and just figure out what
take
it
it,
is.
Confirm it.
Yeah. So go and do that. Again, watch. I guess watch.
Watch the past episode.
Watch or listen. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. Number 2, go to Europe.
Go to Europe.
get some fashion tips from the Europeans, especially the Albanians.
The Albanians.
And then 3, go take a love language test. Figure out what your love language is. Well, like this episode, like the video on YouTube too, because I'm putting this on YouTube. And honestly, guys, like one last tip for you before we conclude here. Both him and I made these like applications, these resumes, and it's just kind of a fun, silly thing to do. When it comes to dating, find fun, silly ways to enjoy dating, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, that is one of my principles of success when it comes to dating. Am I having fun?
Yeah.
If you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong.
You're doing everything wrong.
That's fun. Right.
That's the point of dating. I mean, it
might be a mindset shift. You might need to date different women. That could honestly be it.
Yeah, that's something we could explore too. The kind of
we have a lot to explore.
There's a lot of, like I said in the first episode, there's just so much to talk about. And if there's specific things you guys want to hear, let me know. I guess my YouTube viewers will let me know, because on Spotify you can't really comment down below. But
you're kind of encouraging them to go to your YouTube. That's what I'm hearing.
I know. Check out my YouTube channel and comment down below. Give us a like, subscribe if you want, and get ready for some more professional dating advice. Actually, non-professional dating advice. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but yeah. This has been non-professional dating advice. I think we'll call it a wrap here, and we'll tackle some more things later. Kyle Brenchley, your host as always. Tylen Nelson here as our special guest. We might see him again in the future.
Ooh. This is kind of like a little interview for me. I reached out to Kyle asking him, hey, you need a co-host?
Yeah. I mean, if you guys still want to be on the show, like, I got a friend who wants to zoom in, so we'll bring people on. So just let me know, comment down below. And we'll make it happen.
Comment if you want to see Ty the co-host.
Ooh, yeah. If this video gets 10 likes.
Oh.
I know. I watched this guy named Brent Rivera, and he's always like, if this video gets 500,000 likes. But for realistic purposes, we'll say 10 likes. Then Tylen will reappear on the show, guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Wow.
Again, all right, thank you guys so much for listening and or watching. It is Veterans Day, so I want to say Happy Veterans Day. I failed to mention that at the beginning. But Happy Veterans Day to all those who have served or who are currently serving our country. God bless them, and we appreciate them. Thank you so much for watching, guys, or listening, and we'll catch you later. Toodaloo.
Bye.